And so, what are these resilient distributed data sets? We mentioned the Spark is pretty much built on these resilient distributed data sets. Also called RDDs. So these are a collection of objects that are read-only. They can have partitions. Why do we want to partition them? Because each partition or part of the data object can be processed on a separate node in the cluster. So that's why it is good to create these partitions. That's why it is also said that they define the parallelism at the level of parallelism in the Spark. In other words, if we want to have many nodes to process the data, we can create more partitions. If we want to have less nodes, we can create less partitions. And that affects the computation, the processing time, and the performance. How do we create it? We can create the RDD and load the data into it. So, for example, if we want to create a new RDD, then what we do here is, let's say we want to have 10 partitions. So say n, or number of partitions, is equal to 10. Then say the Spark context is equal to Spark context master, and then give the name of our application. And then we can divide this RDD into n number of partitions, which in that case is 10. Now, these RDDs, they can have parents. The one that I'm showing here has no parents. If it has parents, then the number of partitions is set according to the parents as well. Usually, if you don't specify how many partitions, it will create automatically the partitions as the number of file blocks that the data takes. So let's say the data is huge, and if the file block is 64 megabytes, which is huge, then it will create one partition for every 64 megabytes of data. If we don't want that, we can specify how many do we want to have. So once we create this RDD, what can we do with it? There are several methods that we can use. The map and reduce methods exist there, and they can be used. So there is a map, and give a function to what we want to do in the map, and also a reduce. These things do exist in Spark. So return a new dataset form by passing each element of the source through a function. So map and specify some function. Reduce the same things. It's going to combine the outputs together, so it is aggregating the elements of the data set. There are though other functions that it has. There is filter. So it's going to take the original data set and do some filtering through it. Let's say we are looking for people of specific age. And so it's going to filter through and create a new data set of the people of that age. So it is filtering. And collect. Return all the elements of data set as an array. That can also be used as a filter. Now, the difference here is that these are called transformations because they take the original data set and perform some function in it and create a new data set. While these are called actions because they don't create a new data set. They take the original data set and do something to it. Now, the actions they are called that they're lazily evaluated because the job is not actually invoked until we run that statement. So other things is that the Spark allows for what is called persistence. So persistence means that we can cache some of the data and we can choose the way that we can cache it or keep it in memory. And that is the major difference from MapReduce. So you see, MapReduce does not have this function. So if we have MapReduce, and let's say we have to go through the data once and produce some result. Next, based on that result, go to the next stage of the algorithm. It has several iterations to go through. Then these intermediate results in MapReduce are not, it's difficult to cache or persist them. In Spark, we can do that. There are a number of functions parameters that can be set to persist the data. So these resilient data sets, we can set all these parameters of them. So memory only. This means store the data set as deserialized Java object in the Java virtual machine. If it does not fit in memory, some of the partitions will not be cached and they will be estimated on the fly each time that they're needed. This is the default. Whatever we can cache in main memory we will do. If not, the rest of it is not cached. There is a choice to store it on disk if it doesn't fit in main memory. So memory and disk is an option that says, again, deserialized Java object. If it does not fit in the memory, the rest of the partitions will be stored on the disk. There are options to do disk only if we want to. So there is various ways to store it. As I mentioned here, these are deserialized. It also allows for serialization. Serialization, it means that the resilient data set is stored as an array. And the array is a 1-byte array per partition. So array of bytes. This is generally more efficient than deserialized object. However, if we have something like that, it takes more CPU time to read that. It's more highly intensive for processing. We can do this mixed memory and disk serialization, or we can do everything on the disk. Other parameters that are allowed is keep 2 copies of it. Do you remember how Hadoop is keeping 3 copies? Because in case one of them was crushed, one of the nodes crushed, crashed and one part of the data was lost. If we want to do redundancy like that, we can do that by saying 2 or 3 or how many copies of the data do we want to have.